Akshaya Patra has become a movement, not only in India, but also by its volunteers in the United States. Feeding children in India is the mission of Akshaya Patra. Akshaya Patra Boston chapter is going to host its annual fundraising gala on April 15th at Newton Marriott Hotel. Today we are going to talk to some of its volunteers and organizers. Welcome everybody to our show.
Thank you.
So let's start with you. You are the new CEO of Akshaya Patra. How did you get involved with Akshaya Patra?
I think the story goes back about 6-7 years when Narayan Murthy was in town in Los Angeles, that's where I live. And he was going literally city to city talking about Akshaya Patra. And what really moved me was one message that he gave to everybody there was that he could write a check for one single check and he could take care of all the expenses for Akshaya Patra's children for the whole year. But his point was clear that, these are our children. There are 100 million children in government schools in India, and if they're not getting a proper meal, that's the future that you're not taking care of. So they're ours.
Thank you. So what I'm going to do is just go one by one.
Yes.
Whatever the questions comes to my thought, I'm just going to throw at you, and then that's why we're going to complete the round. So Akshaya Patra is also basically giving a gift of food to children. And giving has been very important in every culture. What makes you feel about when you contribute to a cause like Akshaya Patra?
I feel extremely blessed that not only can we give, but we are giving it to so many kids. And the fact that it's not just food, but with food comes education, and it's an entire generation of kids that we would be giving a big future to, and their generations from there on. India has been such a poor country, and since we have witnessed such poverty and no education to millions of kids, I think we are turning the stone here.
Now, for you, is how long you have been involved with Akshaya Patra?
I think now for about 10 years now.
About 10 years. How did you get involved with Akshaya Patra?
Yeah, what started off was somebody invited us to one of these galas. It was a friend of ours. We didn't know anything about it at that time, but just listening to the story, something resonated with us, and ever since then we've been there every year. And now, we've taken it to the next level of volunteering as well.
Now, how Akshaya Patra has helped you?
Well, it has helped me understand that some of the basic needs that if you take care of, especially as you mentioned, the future of the country, right? The children are the future. And by giving them education, and a lot of these kids don't get the opportunity to get educated, and they have to work for a living. And what this has helped me understand is a good combination of technology applied to a good cause at scale can solve this problem at magnitudes that we don't anticipate. And it takes $15 to feed a child for a year.
So now talking about scale, I think that one of the biggest contribution which Akshaya Patra has made, and especially Desh is a champion of scaling everything up. And so Akshaya Patra has scaled up that concept very well all over in India. Can you tell us a little bit more about or any one of you that how Akshaya Patra is expanding in India, its operation?
Well, I'm going to start, and you folks can help me with this. I think one of the, and I've listened to Desh talk about how you have to be able to replicate things. Right? For a system to achieve scale, you have to have efficiency and you have to have good processes that are replicatable. Right? I think that has been the vision. And so they're able to easily go from 5,000 to 10,000 to 60,000 chapatis an hour, right? Just because they have the technology and they have the vision to see how you can scale it. And if you think about it, the scale, a lot of people don't pay attention to it, but if you take, let's say, 2,000 chapatis, it would take you 30 kitchens to do 60,000 of them. The fact that they can do so much in one kitchen, and especially in the Bangalore kitchen, they have very good scale. It's impressive what they have achieved.
Now, you are the host tonight. How long you have been involved with Akshaya Patra?
I think a few years, same story. We were invited a few years ago, and then we just got involved. It's amazing what this organization is doing. It's just like you said, and I'll just echo that. It's, for me, the scale, the quality of food, and that goes with education. It's just, it moved me in kind of that we can, whatever we can do, probably not, it's not enough. We should be doing even more. So that's kind of.
Mani, what about you? You have been involved with Akshaya Patra for a long time too.
Right. So I've been involved for about 10 years as well. And for me, you know, one of the biggest joy it's been, like you said, what have you got from Akshaya Patra is not just working for the cause, but my daughter, you know, she got involved with Akshaya Patra when she was in high school, and she's a youth ambassador of Akshaya Patra. And it's very nice for our next generation to be involved with Akshaya Patra, and they're learning at that age that in giving is what you're going to receive in life. So I think that is, it has given me more than I could ever give. So.
About hostess tonight, yes. What is one thing you want Akshaya Patra to do in India, which you think that where Akshaya Patra can really play another important role?
Okay, so everything that everyone said is exactly how I feel, but what was most important was girls were sent to school to get educated just because they could get a meal. So these girls who would have never had a chance to go to school and they would have been working at home or helping their mothers, they were given a chance to be educated because their brothers and their fathers realized that, oh, one less mouth to feed. So it's not only that these girls are getting good nutrition and that will help their growth, but even education, which will actually, how they say that if you educate a mother or a girl, the whole family gets educated. So it's really an exponential impact that we have just by giving one good meal. And that's also done so beautifully. It's clean, healthy, nutritionally balanced food. So I think all children deserve, but girls definitely. That made an impact.
Thank you. Rakesh, you have been involved with Akshaya Patra in various capacities for a very, very long time,
Sure.
ever since I know. So, so what is your take on food, Akshaya Patra and gender?
So primarily I think food, keeping it simple and adding micronutrients to the food has, I think, helped Akshaya Patra achieve this scalability. That is one of the very important factors in reaching millions of kids, and I think it will help further. As far as gender, you mentioned, I think, as Amita mentioned, young kids, boy or girl, I think helping them, sending them to school with the feeling that they're going to get unlimited meals, and that will help them educate themselves and help their generation to come to really eradicate poverty.
So is there, how many states Akshaya Patra is involved in India right now?
I guess about 11 states? 12 states.
12 states.
12 states, yeah.
So is there many more to go in?
Right.
Yeah, we are adding
Yeah.
new states every month.
Every month?
So we have 30 new kitchens coming up in the next 12 months alone. 4 in Delhi,
Right.
9 in Uttarakhand, new one in Varanasi, Uttarachal, Jharkhand, Uttar Pradesh, new ones in Pondicherry, Maharashtra, Goa. Yes.
The Maharashtra got recently.
Yes, I
right?
think
Maharashtra has
you
to-
were
One
very
of the last
instrumental
one.
in getting that.
So, yeah,
And I think one of the questions you asked about scalability, how Akshaya Patra is achieving is, first of all, demonstrating successes in these various states. And it requires 3 components. One is success from Akshaya Patra, showing making the difference. Second thing is partnership from the government. It is very important that the state government invites Akshaya Patra to do something in the state. And the third thing is individual donors, either from India or here, who are willing to donate big amount for the kitchen. So really these 3 things, when it comes together, Akshaya Patra will probably reach out to every state.
Excellent. Now, I have seen you all at every Akshaya Patra.
Okay.
You have been a fixture there, yes.
Is that because I'm sitting next to you today?
So now my question is that what those of us who are here have connection with India, are interested in India, what we can do to help Akshaya Patra from the United States?
I think we need to travel frequently, if as much as we can, and visit the individual kitchens. So I think that will probably bring on more sense that we are all together in this project. So a couple of years ago, I mean, we have two girls, we are teenagers now, they're 17 and 14. So a few years ago when we visited India, we made it a point to go to the kitchen in Visakhapatnam, and that's where I think they realized that there is much more in life than just getting that feeling of being entitled and privileged here in the US. So I think we probably need to do more visits, and that way we will get involved much more.
So if any one of you can talk a little bit about the next generation of kids who are just growing up here, what is their role and how they are getting involved, and how Akshaya Patra is involving them into these projects?
So we have a very vibrant youth ambassador program. We just changed the ages to go from 12 to 25 so that we could include a lot more children. We also made it easy for them to meet the requirements, which is to have at least 20 to 30 subscribers who will give $15 every month, recurring donations. And it adds up, it adds up. If you put just what we have with the current number of youth ambassadors, we would probably raise around $250,000 just by these recurring donations. And so we are bringing back the trip to India so that they can go and volunteer. We are taking interns to India we're talking with the large companies who have interns to go there. We're also looking at them for putting together a leadership council of youth ambassadors, so we don't feel like it is a chore. They feel more it's a fun thing that they can participate in, they can share ideas with, have a common platform on social media that they can talk about. And I think one of our youth ambassadors raises about $70,000, and so that's phenomenal. It teaches them marketing, it teaches them leadership, it teaches them so many things on a very different level.
And also in India, I think when there was an earthquake somewhere in Nepal or somewhere, Akshaya Patra got involved there in disaster recovery as well. So there is another potential of Akshaya Patra.
Now utilizing Akshaya Patra model anywhere, I think it's very efficient, cost effective, and nutritious meal. So.
Okay. Now, since we do not have much time, it is such a wonderful concept of this Akshaya Patra. I just want each one of you to just say in one sentence, I'm just going to be starting here, what Akshaya Patra really means to you. Just one sentence. Let's start with you, Vandana.
In one sentence?
Yes.
Akshaya Patra means opportunity.
It's a blessing.
Yeah, I think it's an opportunity for the kids there.
Defining the future of India and the world.
Giving back, we are fortunate, so it's now we can give back to.
Enrichment from every aspect.
Giving back, yeah.
So Akshaya Patra has brought a lot of happiness to our family by getting involved in Akshaya Patra.
So I would say endless giving.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank
you.
First of all, let me tell you how appreciative and thankful I'm about fellow Bostonians. You're all very well-meaning, empathetic people who have supported Akshaya Patra now for over a decade. Akshaya Patra is a program where we make sure that children are not denied education because of hunger. We all know, who came from India, that it was education who opened up doors for us and created opportunities. And we now have an opportunity to create the same opportunity for millions of these people in India. We now have the resources, we have the empathy, we have the technology, and the means to scale this program so that no child in India ever gets left behind because of hunger. I very much appreciate you coming to the event on April 15th in Boston and supporting the cause. Thank you very much.